Thank you for the Altman Foundation and the Horace W. Goldsmith Foundation for helping make the PROJcast possible.
Welcome to our show. Join our flow. It's the 52nd Street PROJcast.
From the heart of Hell's Kitchen, this is the PROJcast, a podcast created by the community at the 52nd Street Project. We are a nonprofit in New York City that partners the young people of Hell's Kitchen with professional artists to create original work, often performed free of charge for the general public. I'm Garrett Kim, Program Director here at the project. Since quarantine began back in March, project staff have adapted 8 programs to a virtual format, including online versions of playmaking, playback, teen ensemble, song making, wordplay, art making, radio making, and storytelling. And we've introduced some new workshops like cooking, movement, and puppetry. We've had 4 virtual playmaking performances and several other closed sharings of work created by project members. As you might know, our development team moved our annual gala online for the first time ever, honoring longtime dedicated volunteers Crystal Dickinson and Brandon Dearden. Thanks to our amazing community, our dedicated staff, and our board of directors, we created 10 music videos for original songs made at the project, which debuted at our gala. And we are very, very happy to say that we not only reached our fundraising goal, but we surpassed it. So we want to give a huge thank you to everyone who has supported the project during this time. For the next 2 months, we'll be sharing some original radio stories created in our first ever virtual round of Radiomaking. Radiomaking introduces project members to the art of telling stories through audio. The pieces are conceived, created, recorded, sound designed, and edited by project members, with support from adult volunteers. And before we get into the first story, I just want to take a moment and give a huge shout out to the 4 amazing project members, now they're project alumni, who participated in Radiomaking during their final semester of their senior year. They had agreed to do the program when we were still thinking it would happen in person, and when I approached them back at the end of March to see if they wanted to try to do Radiomaking virtually, they were totally on board. So everything you're about to hear in these next 4 episodes was done remotely and virtually, including the interviews that you're going to hear. We're kicking off this Radiomaking mini-series with the story about COVID-19 and what life in quarantine looks like for one immunocompromised person. Back in April, Kai decided to interview his mother, Yvette, about her experiences and how her life has changed since COVID-19 arrived in New York City. Here's Kai's radio piece. Enjoy.
All right. Introduce yourself.
Hello there. I am your mother. My name is Yvette Fernandez. I am a mother of 6 children. I have 5 daughters and 1 son. I was born in May 4th, 1967. I'm a single mom, single working mom. What else would you like to know? I clock in to work at 7:45 every morning. I put the coffee on. Before that, I already took my shower and everything, and the first thing I do is put New York 1. Yeah, I like to know what's going on. I always like to be aware of what's going on, especially because I leave the house 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. I like to know what's going on out there. You know, the weather and the update on the coronavirus. I like to know that the numbers are going down. You know, I'm very afraid, because of my condition. When I first heard about it was when it was hitting Wuhan. And I'm old school. So the first thing I started doing was telling my friends and family, start buying canned goods. You know what happens, people panic and they buy everything out of the stores. Mm-hmm. It sounds serious. Eventually it's going to get here because of travel. People always travel here. And people were saying I was exaggerating.
Can you name a few people?
At work, my coworkers, some people were saying I was scaring them. Even your own sister, I told her about it, and she laughed at me, and she goes, "Mom, we're never going to run out of stuff. Why are you saying these things?" Because they call me a hoarder when it comes to food, because I like to be prepared. That's my mentality. Because I remember as a little girl in 1977 when we had a blackout, people went bonkers. And that was only for a few days. They were breaking into stores. And look how long this has taken. I'm surprised that, with so much unemployment, people haven't gone buck wild. I guess because we're not allowed outside. But I've seen a lot of things growing up. And I guess I have that mentality of just hunkering down and being prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
I have candles and stuff for blackouts. I raised your sisters on my own. So I'm self-sufficient. I've always, because I have so many children, I had a bad habit of overbuying food. So we were set with that.
How are you gonna look back at this in the future?
This is major. I remember 9/11 like if it was yesterday. To me, this is big. This is a big thing. We lost a lot of lives. And it's scary because you don't know if this thing is coming back. They're saying that it might come back in the fall.
Yeah.
And then they're saying that people with immune systems, that they have an immunity. How do you know? When you have the flu, you get the flu again next year. You don't have an immunity. The shot helps you from different strains, but the flu has so many different strains. How do you know this is not going to mutate?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you have to be prepared for everything.
Let's say, God forbid, you contract the virus, right? What would you, what are your thoughts, your reactions? What would you do?
The first thing I did was sit your sister down and emailed your sisters, all your sisters. I gave them all the passwords to all my bank accounts and, whatever they need. I'm afraid that I won't survive it. So I want to prepare. I need to make sure that you're okay, that you're taken care of. Of course, I don't want to get it.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to survive. I have a lot to live for. But you never know, you don't know what's intended in life. You could be walking down the street, a car hits you. You don't know what life has in store for you. When you were first born, I got high blood pressure. It was due to it's hereditary. Which was okay. That's the only medication I was taking. When you were young, I started having some back pains, and I was having trouble getting up from my bed. And at first they told me it was a nerve. And it ended up being a cyst in my back. And I had surgery and had it removed. But after the back surgery, I noticed that I was still having trouble walking. And I've always worked, so it's very hard for me not to get around. So I went back to the doctor, and they referred me to pain management. And pain management was giving me many medications for pain and for nerve pain and for swelling and for this and that and this and that. Well, eventually, after a year of being on this medication, I noticed that I started swelling up. So I called my main doctor because I was concerned. And he called me in and he asked me what medications I was taking, and I told him. And it so happens that I was overdosing on like an ibuprofen-based medication. So I ended up damaging my kidneys. So now they tried to fix it. After that, I still had problems with my back. And I finally went to Columbia, and they told me that I needed back fusion because I was going to have trouble walking because it was like if my back was broken. So I went in for the surgery. And after the 3 months or, for my follow-up, when I went back in, they told me they couldn't believe I was still walking because all the screws came out. And I needed to get reopened and the surgery done again. So I went through a major depression. I didn't want to deal with anybody. And during this time, I'm still going through this treatment of them trying to get my kidneys working again. But they couldn't. So right now, I'm currently on dialysis 3 times a week for 4 hours each day. So I go after work. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Well, I see a pulmonologist because of my dialysis, I have more conditions now, and I have a heart condition, and I also have congestive heart failure, so I have pulmonary problems too. And when I went to see my pulmonologist before this, when the Wuhan stuff started, he had told me, "Oh, don't worry, Yvette, it's just like a flu." And I already had gotten the flu twice, and they kept me in the hospital for it. Mm-hmm. That's how bad it was.
Because your immune system as well.
My immune system is also compromised, correct. So I looked at him and I said, well, that doesn't sound, are you sure? And he goes, yeah, it's just like the flu. But remember, nobody really knew about this Wuhan thing. Everybody assumed it was going to be like the flu. But I still was very careful when I went to work. I made sure to let my HR know that I have a compromised immune system, and if it's possible for me to work from home. So I was one of the first people that left the office to work from home because of my condition.
Yeah. So, what specific precautions have you taken? Like, how have you prepared?
I used to work in the hospital system for over 14 years, so I'm very aware regarding germs. So we had some Purell. We didn't have a lot, but we have some. But Jasmine, your sister, and I, we made some Purell with aloe and alcohol. We have a lot of Lysol. We try to disinfect the doorknobs I have a lot of alcohol pads. I wear masks whenever I go out. I wear gloves, disposable gloves. And I stay away from people because even though I have a mask, I don't trust.
I recall talking to you about it, and didn't someone from your dialysis unit have it?
One of my nurses
had the coronavirus.
Actually, at first there was a patient, and they took we get these papers informing us that going forward, it happened from one day to another. Going forward, they're going to be checking us before we have dialysis, checking our temperature, and asking us questions to make sure that we don't have a cough, that we weren't around anybody that traveled outside the country. I noticed one of my nurses wasn't around, one of my regular nurses. And when she came back, I asked her, hey, what's going on? And she informed me that she had the virus, and that she had just gotten over it, but she still couldn't taste. It takes away your taste buds.
It does?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Compared to your past hardships, where would you rank the coronavirus, the quarantine right now?
I don't mind being on quarantine.
Like, it's not that bad, right?
I don't mind being at home.
It's just the risk of...
I've always worked all my life, so this is actually like a break because I'm not traveling, I'm not taking the trains, and I can do my job via computer, so it's okay. I'm fine with that. I don't have to rush. I'm not... That stress of the commute is gone. You know what a big difference that is?
No people just yelling.
Nobody bothering you. You just do what you got to do. My work is up to date. I'm fine. Wherever there's a con, there's also a pro. Look at the environmental part of it.
Yeah, the earth is doing
The earth is doing so much better. The waters are getting cleaner, and the air is less polluted. If you think about it, hey, you never know. It could have been thrown out there saying, hey, you're killing me, you're choking me, I need a break here. You never know. So, I think about that too. I don't know. Everybody has their own ideas, but I think it's natural. But you know what? I'm not going to let it keep me down. I still listen to my music. I'm still always laughing. I'm doing my arts and crafts. I'm not going to stop it from making me live my life.
Yeah.
And you know what? You just have to enjoy life, Guy, because truthfully, you don't know if you're going to not be here tomorrow. You need to enjoy the time that you have now. Try to do your best. At least when you leave, you know that you did the best you can do. You lived a good life. I know that I'm happy, I'm calm, I have the most beautiful, wonderful children in the world. God blessed me, and I can't complain.
Thank you for doing this interview with me.
That was Kai's piece. A huge thank you to Yvette for agreeing to be part of Kai's radio story. Kai worked with volunteer Lynne Marie Rosenberg during the radiomaking process, and the original music in this story was composed by Lydia Breckon. A special thanks to volunteer Therese Barbado for offering her interviewing insights to the radio makers this year. When I asked Kai about his future plans, this is what he said. I plan on going to BMCC, Borough of Manhattan Community College, and majoring in computer science. For the future, I want to stay happy, and I hope everyone strives for that joyful feeling. Thank you, Kai. Right back at ya. And now, for the credits. The project member featured in this episode was Kai. The adult volunteers featured in this episode were Lydia Breckon and Lynne Marie Rosenberg. The PROJcast theme song was created by Justin and his smart partner Eric March and performed by Marinda Anderson, Rebecca, and Nicole. The PROJcast logo was created by Iris Brown. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search the 52nd Street Project and look for 5e and 2e on our logo. The 52nd Street Project is supported by public funds from New York City's Department of Cultural Affairs and the New York State Council on the Arts. The 52nd Street Project is a non-profit organization, and we're able to do what we do because of generous folks like you. Please go to our website 52project.org/donate to check out how you can support us. Every little bit helps. Next time on the PROJcast, project member Sophia interviews 4 of her peers and mentors in the entertainment industry to talk shop about the realities of making it as a filmmaker. Until then, remember the project motto: we all belong, we all get along. See you next time.
See you next month.
Wait,
Nothing rhymes with month. On the 52nd Street PROJcast.